to help support us and help us make the changes that make us better. So, we're going to launch right into the question of the session today, and that is, to you players, what would most people... tongue-tied. What would most people think about your character on first sight? And, or, what do you want them to think when they see your character? We're going to start off with Levin. So, Levin, go ahead and take it away.
Hello, I'm Aaron playing the Elf Ranger Levin, and honestly, it's pretty much what Saris has been saying all along. What do most people think? Cop.
I knew it.
It's
But
straightforward.
what would they? What does he want them to think? Honestly, he doesn't too much care what they think.
Gotcha. So that does explain why whenever they call you a narc and stuff, besides not knowing what a narc is, you're not really
Oh
affected.
no, Levin knows what a narc is. He just doesn't care that that's what they think about him. That just means that they won't overshare information.
Gotcha. That makes sense. And it's definitely fitting for what we've seen from Levin so far.
Yeah,
right.
besides the casual murder.
I mean, you guys claim it's self-defense, even though the Bugbear and Sharn would attest to that if you could. But, that's just me nitpicking. Moving forward. Sorry, go ahead. Was there something you wanted to add?
Nope.
Oop, it's alright. Alright, so we're gonna go down to Mech.
Hey, how you doing? So let's see. I think most people are either afraid of Mech or some kind of disapproval or a dislike of him because of the war. And I feel like he understands that to a certain point, but he tries to put himself into like a nice demeanor and someone that can be looked to for like help or not be like the scary monster that he feels that everyone probably looks at him as. And that's why he tries to stay so clean and pristine and try to hold himself up to that like type of class, that type of standard.
Nice. Now, I do have a question to follow up on that. Did
Yes.
he feel like that before he left the library?
Yes.
Okay. Because I feel like when you were in Sharn and you went to the Warforged bar and saw how the people of Sharn treated you, that might have added to that or reinforced that notion as well.
A little bit. He didn't get it as much in the library because it was so prestigious, and whoever went there, was supposed to be there. But he was still looked at like as like just like a bodyguard or the help, in some cases. So to be out in the world for what he feels is the first time and seeing it firsthand, yeah, he could definitely notice it and sense it. But he's smart, he's well educated, so he would have known that it was going to be around regardless.
Alright. Good to know. Good to know. Alright, Joan, or I should say Saris,
Huzzah!
take it away.
She doesn't want anyone to notice her at all. If they do notice her, something has gone awry. She wants to be unmemorable. Unless she's in disguise, in which case, remember the disguise, but don't remember her.
Gotcha. So you would like to just be invisible.
Yes. That's why she kind of like goes through faces and personas a lot. It's better for her if like, oh yeah, that one weird half-orc dude, we want to find them. She'll let them look for that guy all day long, as long as they're not looking for her.
So now, do you have a way of like memorizing what identity you use with what?
Yep. Are you talking in-game or out-of-game?
Well, just in game, actually, in character.
She has like some go-to like personalities, there's a lot of what she does tends to be sort of ubiquitous people in general, like the put upon assistant or the dock worker, people that sort of don't attract notice in general, but if for some reason they do, it's still not her.
Gotcha.
Because
That
her
makes
first
sense.
defense is anonymity.
Makes a lot of sense. You've been doing pretty well. Even traveling with a shiny Warforged.
We're working on it. We're working on it.
Alright, so unfortunately we will be short of Yami tonight. If he does hop on, we're going to welcome him. If not, we're going to see him for the next week. Moving forward, we're going to go to and pose this question to Fennec. So Fennec, same question.
So when Fennec kind of enters like public or populated areas, more times than not, he's given the look of like not disgust, but caution, due to his heritage of being a goblin. And he dresses in darker robes, is a little bit mangy, not to like a street urchin per se, but he definitely draws the common side eye or glare down the street.
Now, have you been noticing that change since you've adorned this suit?
I think he's been too wrapped up in the suit to really even care. Like he hasn't really noticed. He's noticed, like in the small interactions that he's had with people, whether it be like a shop owner or whatnot, that he's not getting the like "be gone, shoo" typical response. Like he's actually just kind of talking, but he really hasn't like actively or consciously noticed.
So, basically, you are getting a change in connections with others, so you're not getting straight up revolted upon.
Yeah. In particular,
So it
Sarah.
shows clothes do make the man.
Yeah. Manners maketh men.
And it does. Alright, so we're going to hop right into our recap. Does anyone want to help us out?
Yeah, man, being attacked by shadows. We got ambushed. We got ambushed twice at the same time. So I guess it counts as the same ambush.
Maybe a little bit.
Ambush 2.0. In that, we did find out some information about something called the Seven Caves. It's a draconic prophecy.
Indeed, it's rumored to hold a portion of the draconic prophecy.
Yes. So we came to the conclusion that we were going to have to crawl through some dungeons with some dragons and take our chance by rolling the dice. And I'll just stop it there.
There you go.
Stuff. There's also an actual serious note. That was serious, but we noticed on Mei Li on her left hip a festering mark. That was a mark of something that we haven't quite figured out. It was similar to a dragon mark.
Indeed. In fact, she almost mooned you in the process of revealing it to you as you were interrogating her.
Not interrogate, I simply asked.
You were very forcefully asking.
Forcefully, yeah.
You badger.
So much so that she lost her appetite and insulted the food that Chef Mech made her.
Everyone loves my omelets.
Apparently not Mei Li, because Fennec, I think, ruined her appetite.
It's not the first time.
It has nothing to do with him being a goblin.
No. It's his manners as a goblin.
Alright. So, some of the other things that had happened during that session was that you did reach the
Sanctuary.
growing city of New Syria after several weeks of travel. In those travel weeks, you did encounter several events, including an ambush, shadows attacks. I believe you had multiple shadow attacks, actually. All in an attempt to apparently steal Meili away. When confronted, she did acquiesce to the badgering of the nosy goblin, and did reveal that she had a festering mark that she has had since childhood. It is the only thing she could think of as to why she would be targeted. Now, as a disclaimer, because Marshall is not here, and I am not going to insult everybody here with an attempt to do a southern accent. Sorry, y'all. I know you're a bit disappointed in that, but...
Sorry, y'all.
Sorry, y'all. That's about the closest as I can come. Otherwise, it will be stereotypical, and I will anger the fans that we don't have yet. So let's not do that just yet. Are there any other things that I might have missed on that quick recap? Oh, yes. You did get, upon waiting for your money from Ramus, you were informed that he does possibly have another job for you lined up. And we are going to take it from that point. As he reaches into his hip satchel, pulling out the amount of money that he does owe you, and does hand it off. Because I do know that Mech, last you left off, had said, you gotta pay us first. So he's gonna pay you first. Upon looking into the satchel, you will find that there is 300 gold pieces.
Each?
300 gold pieces. I like it. Nice try. So you could certainly split that up and add that into your inventory. So, about this job, are you in any rush to go directly back to Rote?
Well, not
Well-
so no.
Well, I mean, relative. What are our options? What? Because this gestures to nature. I don't like this.
What was that?
The nature. I want to get back to a city.
Gotcha. You don't like being in this desolate land.
I do not.
Well, has anybody heard of... one second. Where's the name? Has anybody ever heard of the House Irwinren? Winarn, excuse me. Irwinarn.
Can't say that I'm familiar.
They were the royalty of what was once Sire. Fortunately, all but one has been eradicated since the warning has occurred. This last survivor is here in New Sire. He's requested that some of the people who have aided me in this escort can go further towards the border of where Sire once was. His men are too spread out at this moment, and he's going to motion to the number of people, the condition of the city, and the fact that you notice that there aren't actually too many guards around. So it's almost like the city itself is unprotected. some of his men haven't been checking in quite recently. And he was hoping that some can go out. Now, he's told me that he can offer 500 gold pieces for this mission. And he is going to look from one to the last, waiting for a reaction.
So you want us to find missing men?
Not find, just give a report of what's going on. Any updates that you can provide.
How far away is it from here?
The fort that he had sent the last men to would be about a week away. And it has been at least 9 days since he had communications from this fort. It's not uncommon to go a week without hearing, but it's starting to get past the point where one should worry.
Well, there wasn't anything else that we had planned, right? Besides trying to find this prophecy.
Yeah, other than the melee stuff, I think our calendars are open. I mean, we've followed them out here, not really near anything.
On that note, has anybody been paying attention to melee?
Sarah. Just staring.
Saris, what was that? You got cut off about at the very beginning.
Oh, Saris is watching her.
Okay. You're going to notice... give me a perception check if you are watching her.
I can do this.
Believe in you.
I have faith in you. You got this. Roll low.
I did.
Hey. Nice and low. I like it.
It's
So-
under 30.
That's fairly intimidating, actually. But I'm not going to go into that one. With the 20 that you have, you are able to see that she enters one of the farmhouses that has been built. But now she is out of your sight.
Oh, no.
What would the rest of you like to do?
We're all still together, though, right?
Oh, 100%.
Okay.
She was in your life. So that's why I was asking who was watching her, because you were traveling together. She just wandered off on her own. Saris, it seems, was the only one who was keeping that eye on. Saris, would you tell anybody that you lost sight of her?
Nah.
Nah.
All right.
And
So-
technically speaking, Fennec and Mech haven't shared the information that they've learned from Miley, yet. So,
We didn't?
Levin
they
has no
haven't.
obligations.
I don't think we did. Because I think we
Wow.
ended right on it.
Okay.
Yep.
Wait, where'd she go?
Well, you wouldn't necessarily know because you weren't paying attention to it, and it was not pointed out by Saris, and you guys were engrossed with the conversation with, unless you would like to roll that perception check, Fennec.
I will roll it only because, like, with everything going on with Melee, he may not have been paying direct attention, but he was definitely
So then I would ask for your passive perception.
passive perception. Okay, that will be 10.
You do not notice her.
Okay,
All right,
so
so
there I was.
there you were, not noticing anything.
Nope.
So, what do you guys think? Is it something that might interest you?
Why don't you give us a moment so we can get our affairs in order, and we'll get back to you.
Absolutely, and because I am responsible for attempting to build good ties with what is going to be Seer's hopeful rise, I would be able to offer an extra 100 gold pieces if that will help. And with that, he's going to take out a cigar. You're going to hear a kind of a rough cut as he takes out a knife and uses a knife to cut it, and then walks off, lighting it with a matchstick.
So wait, what was the extra 100 for?
If we take
Going
the job.
out, yeah, going out to investigate what's going on with soldiers that haven't been reporting.
Because it's like his job.
Okay.
He's doing us a favor.
So the base is 500, and he's willing to offer another 100, so that would bring up the total to 600 gold pieces.
Well, we already got the 500.
Yeah.
You got the 300. Yeah, so if you accept the
From
job,
the previous
you get
job.
But yeah, so you got the remaining 300 from that.
So
You're
you
all
got
paid up for that.
GP. Yeah, everyone gets 60.
Okay. And then so we're getting an additional 100 if we go on top
We'll
of it.
get an additional. We'll get 600 if we do the next job.
Got it. Okay.
Yep. So after Ramos leaves and things like that, he'll look at Fennec and be like, "So we found something interesting on Melee. She has like a weird dragon mark. It's not like
Weird.
the others.
It also looked infected. It was festering. It was. I mean, I thought it was cool, but most guys think it's gross.
Almost like a brand."
Levin's gonna cock an eyebrow at that. Dragon marks typically don't manifest as festering or open wounds.
Yeah, I didn't think so. But she's really sensitive about it. But she's had it for a long time.
And you're absolutely sure that it's not any of the other established marks?
It doesn't look like it.
Not this isn't one that I've ever seen.
I didn't.
Levin is gonna lean a little closer to Mech. Are you absolutely sure?
I haven't been around much, but from what I've seen, yeah. Can I recall it? Like, if I try to draw it?
Give me either a history or a performance check, because the performance is because you're drawing it, history is recalling it in the detail. So you can choose. So whichever is a better roll for you, I'd say pick
I'll go.
that.
All right, I'll go with performance. It's one better. 17.
You are able to easily sketch out the pattern, but as you're doing it, it's almost like a child's drawing in a sense. There's nothing
Deep about it.
cohesive. Yeah, there's nothing. It's almost like it hasn't taken form yet.
Like it's broken.
More like, yeah, it's not connected. It's not a polygon.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Just think of this, but infected.
Most marks look like cursive script, or there's usually fewer angles.
That's why I said I didn't think so. I tried curing her of any kind of disease or anything. It didn't help. But then she got mad and said my omelets are bad.
Oh wait, what?
Yeah, she said my omelets are bad. I got offended and I walked out.
So something that looks like a mark is a festering wound. It's not part of the established houses. That tells me aberrant.
I don't know what that is. Is that helpful?
The opposite, actually.
Wow.
How much do you know of the War of the Mark?
Not much.
Well, one of the stigmas with aberrant marks is that because there was an actual war fought over this. Not to get into too many details, but wound up with, how do I put this?
Before we
Lots of
continue on this conversation with the aberrants, Saris, noticing
Yes.
that Mei Li has vanished in a house, are you going to sit? Are you going to stand with the party and continue listening to the conversation? Or are you going to go and investigate?
I'm going to go follow her.
Are you attempting to draw attention?
No, I will become invisible.
So go ahead and give me a stealth check.
Okay.
I think my passive's good. Nope.
I was going to say this is going to be against everybody else's passive.
Nope.
Do I get any advantage for being invisible?
You're casting in the How are you going invisible? Is that part of your cleric
It's a
ability?
racial spell. Yeah.
Oh, okay, so then yes, you would have advantage for being invisible.
Cool. Well then.
Yep. So, you think that the party would know that you have a tendency of vanishing by this point, but they're so engrossed in this conversation where Levin is providing them information of the war of the houses, or the marked houses, that they don't notice you slip away. Making your way down to the farmhouse, invisible. You notice you are you going to enter the building?
Are there windows to look in first?
There are, but they're high. You wouldn't be able to reach it without moving anything to climb.
Sure. But I want to do it like very slowly. If
would
I
say that
can. What's going?
the barn door is open,
Okay.
so you wouldn't draw attention for opening the barn door because there is actively people working.
I will slip in that way.
Alrighty. Upon looking around, you smell a stable. You smell cow pies. You smell this. You smell unwashed animals. You see her. You see Mei Li in a different. It's like she threw on a different overcloak and is making her way out the back of the barn.
I will follow.
Alrighty. Following
At a
out
safe
there-
distance.
Well, you are invisible, correct? And how long does
Well,
that
yeah.
invisibility last?
1 hour.
Okay. How long are you going to be following her?
I want to know where she's going.
Okay. You are going to notice that after about 5 minutes of following her, she is heading out of New Sire, and she is heading towards the direction of the Mournlands, or where Sire used to be. So let me pull us over to the actual continent of Cover. So where you guys are currently here, where this nice Dapper Dan logo is, she's heading in the direction of northeast. Where
She's
you
like.
would be...
Sorry,
Yeah, go ahead.
go on.
No, go ahead. You go ahead.
I mean, character sheet move. She can head towards the Mournlands. She's like weeks away, right?
Yes, so to get to where Sire once was, it would be several weeks worth of traveling.
Cool. I'm gonna follow her for another 15 minutes, and at that point, it doesn't look like she's going anywhere. Like, not going anywhere nearby. I'm just gonna sort of step up next to her. It's like, so, where you going?
So, are you going to release your invisibility as you do so?
Hell no.
Or are you just going... Okay, so you're just going to whisper invisibly right in her ear.
I'm not gonna whisper invisible. I'm just gonna be like, walk up next to her, like, bestest buddies, but she can't see me because I'm invisible.
Gotcha.
It's like, Where you going?
So she is going to jump, and you're going to see a clenched fist kind of spin around. You are able to dodge out of the way because it's a wild blow, but it does look like she's on edge.
Relax, relax. I'm from the camp. You are somewhat a person of interest, and I am your protection at the moment. Because you may have remembered people were trying to kidnap you.
Yeah, well, listen, after I insulted your friend's Omelet, he said he was done with me and he was going to let me get kidnapped anyway, so you're done
He
with me.
was kidding. Oh my god, he is perhaps the one person who will die before you get kidnapped. You're better off staying very close to him because he's got this very strange sense of morality.
Well, listen, your little friend was right. If I continue to stay, it's going to cause more people to die, so just let me go.
No, I don't think that's wise. We're not going to figure out what's going on if we just let you wander around and get captured. Keeping you safe will lure in some other people that maybe we can question and get real answers from.
And like I was asked last night, or the other night, how many lives have to be lost?
Didn't Fennec say that?
I mean, is your plan to just die? Because I can give you a dagger. I can help you on your way. But this
No, but
is...
at least if anything happens, it happens to me.
Yeah, but that doesn't... What if you... I think you're assuming you're the end result of the whole process, and what if there's more to it? And then you've just left everyone in danger because you selfishly can't afford to be bothered with taking a few risks.
So I'm selfish either way.
Yes, but one has the chance of helping more people. Here's the problem. It seems selfish either way because there are far too many variables. We don't know what's going on. What we need is information, and to get that, we need you to stay close. Or do you prefer to die without ever knowing what was going on? That would make your life somewhat pointless, don't you think?
As she's standing having this conversation with nobody in the middle of the field, she's just going to kind of put her hands on her head and just huff and continue walking away. Boston, to your point, that's why she said as she was told the other night. Because yes, she was using Fennec's words. Everything she said was based off of what Fennec and Mech had said. So you could assume that if you are informed of this, it's shown how much the words got to her.
Okay.
Sorry about that, Saris.
She follows after. She's gonna chatter with her, like, incessantly.
What is it with you people? Just leave me alone!
Aren't you happy, though? Someone thinks you're worth the effort.
And she is going to remain silent. She's not addressing that one. It's like you hit a soft spot.
I'm just saying, this is a nice walk, a nice stroll, taking in a little bit of nature. It's so much. There's so much sky and so much dirt, so much grass, and there's nothing like a shop. And the only pockets to pick are yours, which I dreadfully am afraid contain almost nothing I want.
Well, joke's on you. There's nothing in my pockets.
Haha. There's you.
So this conversation, as you're following her, this would be about a half hour's worth of time that would be consumed. Are you going to, besides verbally trying to sway her back, is there anything else you'd like to do in this interim?
I am basically sort of like letting her know that I'm not going to leave her alone, and I am trying to convince her to turn back around before we get too far away.
Alright. About how much time are you going to invest in this?
As much time as possible.
Alright, so, due to the fact that you haven't shown your face and she only knows that it's you based off of the voice that you're giving, go ahead and give me a charisma persuasion check. at disadvantage. If you, not that I'm trying to persuade you to drop the spell, but revealing yourself would remove the disadvantage.
Yep. Saris doesn't think like that. So
I just figured I'd propose the option, you know?
I mean, thank you.
You are not able to persuade her, but your words do kind of sting and ebb at her. So as she is walking and she gets quiet, she is processing what you've been saying.
And every now and then, like it sort of circles around to like, oh my god, look, it's a bug. Imagine how many of those you're gonna find along the way. There's just so many little biting bugs.
You're Patrick Swayze from Ghost.
So, over that course of time, we're going to jump back to the rest of the party. After about 10 minutes, you would see that Ramus and this person is walking out of the main reinforced building. What would you guys like to do?
Levin was in the middle of explaining the War of
There-
the Mark, and
there we go.
he is quite possibly the most boring retelling of this whole account.
Mech's staring at you intentively. He likes learning. As soon as you was like, I don't know, and you started rambling. That's why he's got no idea Saris is going.
The thing was that the most infamous of those aberrant Mark champions were Hallis Tarkinen and the Lady of the Plague, who had then seized Sharn and declared it a haven for those with the aberrant marks. Eventually, the 12 houses laid siege to the city, and when the Tarkinen and the ladies saw that victory was impossible, they unleashed the full power of their marks, which, I believe it was written, Tarkinen's mark gave him power of the earth, and he brought down the towers. The Lady of the Plague herself pulled them from the depths and spread diseases in the ruins. So, that went well. Sean had remained in ruins for centuries before Galifar I finally reclaimed it.
You ever thought about taking a speaking job? You'd be great doing like audio books.
Audio what?
You know, like you read a book, but you just read it to a whole group of people.
I try not to.
Aren't those
if I
book
can, if I
clubs?
can help it.
Usually everybody has to read the book in the book club.
So it's story time at the library.
Yes.
My point being is that
For
aberrant
adults.
marks were almost completely eradicated during this war. And any happenstance of their reemergence has been of a far weaker source of power. No, not source. Show of power than like what Tarkinen did.
So we should be wary of the dragon marks.
The aberrant ones, yes.
Ah.
Mind you, this was what I've learned from back home, and trying to parse out truth, fact, and fiction is a little difficult when you don't have. And I don't have a library.
Oh, you need help with the library? Me and Mech, we know those things inside and out. We can even schedule you a circle time.
Which library, Corenberg?
No, it's a private library.
I might take you up on that.
Taught me everything I know.
Shouldn't go around telling people that.
That's where I found
With
you.
that. And at this point, Levin's going to start looking around and. Wait, where are the rest?
Ugh.
DM, I think I have an DM. I think I have an idea for one of those shorts. Levin's circle time. But I digress. What?
That- I
Haven't.
love the idea, but anyway.
That's what I said. I digress. Where Fennicle started looking around, like kind of now realizing like Saris isn't there.
Yes, but she does that.
Yeah, but he looks around again. Neither's Melee.
That's not good.
No. See, I'm astute.
Someone
Well,
needs
Saris is smart. If anything, she'll know her way back.
smart to go without backup in an area she's not familiar with.
Yeah, smart.
I think that's the opposite of smart when you're in a dangerous situation.
You want to try to find her? I feel like it'll ruin whatever she's doing. I feel like us as a group ruins a lot of things that she does.
I'm unsure of that, but
We have to get her to trust us more.
So with that, you wouldn't actually know where she went off to, considering she walked off invisibly and nobody noticed.
Mm-hmm.
She has at this point been gone for about 30 to 45 minutes. And that is without coming back. So, realizing she's gone, what would you guys like to do?
How big's the town? Like, are we talking miles or like shacks?
Well, there's definitely shacks, but you would be able to see farms extending several miles away. So think of more like upstate, how a town
Right.
can be miles of just farmland.
Gotcha.
So the yes and no. So yes, the direct area where you are, there are farmhouses and shacks and other weak-looking infrastructures kind of being erected because of a lack of skill. But
It's a
as
large.
for
It's a
how
large
big the
area. It's
Exactly.
a large area. It's okay. Well, if we're gonna look for her, we should make our rounds then. I think we should wait.
we can at least ask after.
So who would you ask after? Who would you like to ask after?
In a general, he's gonna start on the outskirts closest to their current location, just to see if anybody's wandered off to maybe go have a bit of fun or looking like they just wanted to be alone for a bit.
Alrighty.
Because at this
Right.
point, any information of people leaving the camp is better than none.
Fair enough. And for the rest of you?
I'll make my rounds. Try to find a somewhat popular area. See if I see her.
Okay. And for Fennec?
He's also just kind of wandering around, looking anything out of place or like something that might indicate information.
Alrighty. So, I'm going to ask you guys to go ahead and give me a perception check and or an investigation check based off of your intention. If you're just looking, go ahead and give me a perception. If you're actually inquiring with people, give me that investigation.
Next, just looking around, so it's perception.
Yep.
And Levin's asking around, so
That is 16 for Fennec.
Did you eat? Alright, I just want to point this out. What are the odds that each of you would roll a 16? Or have a total score of 16?
1 in 8,000.
Jeez.
That's crazy.
Is that an
But
exact number?
I digress.
Yeah, 1 out of 20, 1 out of 20, 1 out of 20.
I'm
That,
gonna believe it.
I
that's too
believe
much
it.
math for me. I believe you. 100%.
I know I rolled a 16.
So,
Does that give us some kind of like, our powers combine?
No,
it
it's
gives
just
you-
funny.
It gives you a round of
Okay.
applause.
I will take it.
All right. So, both of you, with your perceptions, Fennec, you would see, you would more like hear some people talking about. Did you hear about this girl who was talking to herself in the field? It was really weird. Mech, you would hear rumor of somebody who had stolen a covering from the farm and started hurriedly moving out. That's just what you would overhear.
Okay.
Levin, as you're asking about it, you find out that somebody saw a girl who matches Maylene's description enter the farmhouse and start heading towards northeast. So you would have the exact direction of where she was last seen.
Right. Levin
And-
would try to gather up with the rest of the group however quickly he can once he gets that piece of information.
Sounds good. And on that note, we're going to take a quick break. Those of you who might be watching, I hope we do have some degree of an audience. Go ahead and check out playersoftherealms.com while you're waiting for us. And we will be right back.
While our players take a brief break, check out playersoftherealms.com, and if you need dice and other things like that, check out dicelegion.com and use product code POTR to get 10% off of your purchase while simultaneously supporting us here at Players of the Realms. Also, be sure to check us out on YouTube and Spotify. If you would like to support us, check us out on Patreon as well. All the links are able to be found on playersoftherealms.com. While you're there, check out our wonderful merchandise. We are in the process of adding more, so keep an eye out. Patreon subscribers receive a discount on all purchase, so while on the store it's more incentive to help support our wonderful cast. While our players take a brief break, check out playersoftherealms.com, and if you need dice and other things like that, check out dicelegion.com and use product code POTR to get 10% off of your purchase while simultaneously supporting us here at Players of the Realms. Also, be sure to check us out on YouTube and Spotify. If you would like to support us, check us out on Patreon as well. All the links are able to be found on playersoftherealms.com. While you're there, check out our wonderful merchandise. We are in the process of adding more, so keep an eye out. Patreon subscribers receive a discount on all purchase, so while on the store it's more incentive to help support our wonderful cast. While our players take a brief break, check out playersoftherealms.com, and if you need dice and other things like that, check out dicelegion.com and use product code POTR to get 10% off of your purchase while simultaneously supporting us here at Players of the Realms. Also, be sure to check us out on YouTube and Spotify. If you would like to support us, check us out on Patreon as well. All the links are able to be found on playersoftherealms.com. While you're there, check out our wonderful merchandise. We are in the process of adding more, so keep an eye out. Patreon subscribers receive a discount on all purchase, so while on the store it's more incentive to help support our wonderful cast. While our players take a brief break, check out playersoftherealms.com, and if you need dice and other things like that, check out dicelegion.com and use product code POTR to get 10% off of your purchase while simultaneously supporting us here at Players of the Realms. Also, be sure to check us out on YouTube and Spotify. If you would like to support us, check us out on Patreon as well. All the links are able to be found on playersoftherealms.com. While you're there, check out our wonderful merchandise. We are in the process of adding more, so keep an eye out. Patreon subscribers receive a discount on all purchase, so while on the store it's more incentive to help support our wonderful cast.
And we are back. So, we left off with the other three members who are here. That would be Fennec, Mech, and Levin, doing their own forms of research into finding out where's Ceres? I feel like this is a little bit for where's Waldo type of situation. So, Ceres, it's been about 30 to 45 minutes. You had a 9 on your persuasion check. What would you like to do?
Uh,
Are you going to continue following her, or are you going to return back to the party?
nope, she'll stick with her.
Alrighty. So at that point, I'm going to say the hour mark will hit during your travel, so you will become visible at least until you recast your ability.
I only get 1 per day.
So, at this point, you will now be visible to Melee. And she is going to jump because it's confirmation that she's not crazy.
Yeah, and to be fair, I mean, I haven't been like subtle about it. Like in the grass, she can see she could have seen like where the legs were moving through the grass and the wake that I was making. I wasn't necessarily hiding my presence at that point. I just wasn't dropping the spell.
Yes, I am going to say, though, there
Okay.
is no real grass where you are. So those
Okay.
little indentations, like there would be the occasional dust cloud from your footsteps if with the dryness of the area, but there's
Okay.
it would just be the solid sounds of your footsteps that allow her. But it's also that little surprise of somebody invisible becoming visible and then being like right next to you.
Yep.
Even though she knew you were there, it still caught her off guard. But she doesn't swing at you this time.
There we are. We are very far from camp at this point. Are you sure you want to be out here all alone?
Well, I didn't come out here all alone. At least I thought I did.
Well, I mean,
Listen, I told your friend Mech that I was on my way out anyway when we got here.
yeah, but you see, look, I know what it's like to strike out on your own in an uncertain place and just sort of go off and do a thing. It's not fun. It's not pleasant. And Mech is apparently very sensitive about omelets, which I didn't know. Thank you for that, by the way. I'm going to give him hell for years to come if the opportunity presents itself. But I don't think this whole running away thing is the best solution. Like I said, there are lots of unknown variables, and in general, you're always safer with a group.
And if you were in my shoes, what would you do?
Well, I mean, your choices are you can go back to camp and face this head on, or I will apparently follow you.
Well, I don't know what to tell you. I'm going this way. And she's gonna point in the direction she was heading.
Why this way?
Wouldn't you like to know? And her voice is more petty as she speaks.
Roll
It's like-
strides.
Yeah, it's more giving an attitude because she is only about 17, 18 years old.
Oh shit, really?
Yeah, she's barely an adulthood.
That would explain a lot.
So, how
I
let's
thought
tr-
the fires there.
That would
Let's
explain the
try this.
attitude.
I need a bodyguard, and I'm willing to pay good coin for it. And congratulations, you've won the interview application process.
What? I'm not a bodyguard.
I will pay you 50 gold pieces to stand next to me and pretend and look tough. And you can run away if actual danger shows up.
Okay, I guess I could do that.
I will pay you 25 gold pieces now and 25 gold pieces upon our arrival back at Nucia.
And she's going to glower at you that she was tricked. Fine. She's gonna huff.
I will hold out a little bag with 25 gold pieces in it.
And you're
It
gonna
is-
notice that she just kind of snatches it. Give me an insight check.
Inside my super skill. I kind of don't suck at things.
With that, you kind of notice that, like, right in her eyes, there's this almost thankful look. It's like she didn't want to, but she felt she had no other choice.
Yep. Remember, try to look intimidating. I want to get my money's worth.
And she's going to give this. So picture a normal framed human girl who's just going, grr, and that is her tough face.
I mean, Saris is probably smaller than her. I think Saris is like 4'11".
Oh yeah, no, she's like 5'5".
Yeah. See, it's like, well, that's good. That works because, as you can see, I need all the protection I can get.
And with that, it would take you about an hour to get back to the camp.
Mm-hmm.
And in this time, gentlemen, what would you be doing for this remaining hour?
Well, Levin would have tried regrouping with the other two, and he would have informed them of a sighting specifically of Miley heading northeast.
That's better than I got. I got somebody stealing a tarp and moving out.
Well, I got something about a crazy girl talking to herself in the field. Place
That
just gets
doesn't make-
weirder and weirder.
That doesn't make any sense.
Questions for later.
Well,
You got
that's
it.
right.
You got an exact direction?
General direction, but northeast is better than.
Fields.
At the very least, we can start some type of patrol pattern.
I've been looking around. I haven't seen her, but straight line's better than a circle. All right, we'll go for that. What time of day is it?
I believe you guys had got. I'm going to say it's mid-afternoon.
Okay. All right, so we got a few more hours.
Let's. I'm going to go look for a spot to scout from up high.
Aren't you guys hurt, by the way?
No.
Okay.
We've had opportunities to rest between the excursion and here.
Gotcha.
Yep.
I didn't remember.
You guys would have
Yeah.
long rested. Yeah. So as you guys are planning and you are making your rounds in the northeast direction, everyone, Fennec, Levin, and Mech, go ahead and just give me a d20 roll. This is really just to find out who finds them. The highest roll is the one that finds them.
Would
Since
I have
you-
been
I
able
believe
to
you're-
get onto a higher perch to start looking regardless?
Yes.
Okay.
Uh, $15.
All right. So, Fennec, as it's your round and you're going out, you do see two people heading over from the distance. This would be about a half hour, 45 minutes, a half hour into the rounds. And then shortly after, with the high ground, Levin would then see... Sorry, I'm getting distracted here.
Melee.
Yep. So you would see Melee and Saris walking back.
Levin's gonna get down and regroup.
And with that, you guys would easily be able to regroup at this point. Where there is no actual tavern here, So where you would be able to, you'd basically have to be camping out.
Is there a commons area we could go and avail ourselves to?
For things like food and any sort of outhouses, yes, but for sleeping accommodations with the amount of refugees that are here and are coming in, that, the last batch that you brought in, there's not
We'd have
enough
to sort
area.
ourselves.
Yeah. It's a bit stacked at this moment because they don't have enough structures to accommodate that's safe. You would see in the center of the city, the developing city, you would see Ramos sitting in front of a large bonfire, sitting next to this person that you saw him walking out of the fortified structure with.
As we're all together before we get to Ramos, I was just gonna be like, listen, I don't really have much of a reason not to trust them. I just get a bad vibe about it. But have we made a decision on if we're going to help them again or not? Or should we worry about her?
This request was made out of concern for the citizens here. Ramos just happens to be the one to tell us about it.
Also,
Sir,
Mech, I have it on good authority. Your omelets are garbage.
How dare you? How dare you? Haven't even had one.
Why would I? Apparently, rumor is they're garbage.
What? You listen to her? She's uncultured. She said it needed more pepper.
She is my trusted bodyguard.
and
What?
you're gonna notice in response to that, she's going to like jut out and stand upright, and she's gonna attempt to look intimidating.
Oh, decided you want to try and crack a few eggs, huh?
No, I don't want her to have to kill all of you right here, right now. So let's just end this peacefully. Mac, apologize.
So confused right now.
While this is going on, Levin is going to do an up and down for Miley and see if she was actually prepared for what seems to be a bout of travel.
You would notice that she does. Give me a perception check. If you're actively looking, if it's your side eyeing, that would just be your passive. Which would you?
Nah, I am actively looking.
All right. But your passive is going to be the benchmark, and I believe you have a
So.
17 for your passive.
Yeah. So
All right.
11 on an active, 17 passive.
You would notice that she does have a full pack. On her hip, she does have a dagger. Actually, on both hips, she has a dagger, so she is armed. You could assume that her pack is packed properly, particularly because she did just go on a long expedition with you. So it would kind of show that, she does
Yeah,
know how to
and without
travel.
opening her pack, I wouldn't know if she had like a week or 2 weeks worth of actual supplies to make a trip.
Exactly, but you can,
All right.
just over a glance, it does look like she has the right... she does look fairly well packed.
All right. Thank you.
Yes, now apparently you have offended culinary greatness.
He has.
Have you considered more pepper?
More salt and more pepper is not the answer. You know what? That's it. I'll be back.
And another one
And-
leaves the group.
I give
Omelet
Miley
for everybody.
I give Miley a little like subtle thumbs up.
Miley is just going to smile gratefully, and she's going to give Fennec the stink eye.
Oh.
Okay. Levin will probably notice this. Fennec, what did you do?
Will what?
She's looking at you as though you've done something.
Yeah, she's giving you the stink eye.
Can I help you?
She's gonna ignore you.
So you look at me and ignore me and give me that look. Makes sense? How's your ass?
Right. Sorry, Miss Lee, are you all right?
I'm fine. I'm a bodyguard now. And she's gonna just like kind of stick her nose up in Fennec's direction.
Levin's gonna crook an eyebrow. I'm assuming there's an
Yeah.
explanation for this one.
Yes, I hired her. She's my bodyguard. Look at me. I'm small and slight and unable to defend myself in the slightest.
And say for fact, you've wasted your money.
I watched you bury a dagger into someone's neck.
Helpless as the day the kitten was born.
In Sean alone, I've seen you pilot a ship with no prior experience and manage to keep it up.
Helpless, unaware of the world around me. I need guidance.
Hmm.
Mei
Do I
Li
really
is just
have to
gonna
go
look
with the third here?
confused. She's looking
Don't
confused
overthink
at this
it.
interaction.
I'm not.
Well, if she's going to be doing your next stabbing,
No.
oh, no, I wasn't gonna. All I was gonna say is I don't have anything to worry. Actually, I have all the things to worry about because only she could stoop so low.
Okay, let's stop picking on her, alright?
Why?
Not
She just
picking on her
insulted
in the
Max
slightest.
omelets.
And so did I, but you're not targeting me.
I know you. I know it did. I know. Can I? Is Sarah's being truthful in that she's criticizing the omelets?
She's never even tasted them.
So
You guys didn't
I would
even know I
like
could
to.
cook.
I would like to inside Sarah's just to see if she's full of shit. Crap.
That sounds like a PvP scenario.
I was actually gonna ask that, sir. So are you going to attempt to deceive, or are you just openly making a joke? Just to
I
rock and
will
rhyme
try to
with Mech.
sell it, because this
Alright.
is a lesson for Fennec on
But
sussing
you
out
know he's
bullshit.
not gonna learn.
So we're gonna go with a insight against a deception check, please.
That's your fault you don't learn.
This is true.
No, I think he's got this.
Ooh.
Don't count me
Can
out
you-
yet.
Oh my god!
Did he fail?
Situation
Did he-
remains
No,
unchanged.
They
Count me
each
out.
got a 3. So you
Oh my
can't
God.
you can't tell if she's lying. And
Wait.
Saris, you can't tell if he knows that you're lying. So you're kind of at this impasse of neither of you know whether or not the others.
The secret to a good con, like to making a con work, is to never let go of the con. So yeah,
There you
she
go.
doesn't. I mean, maybe she can't tell, but she's still just like rolling with it.
I feel like she's
At this-
lying bad,
At
but
this
she's
point,
trying really
Levin is
hard not to give it
rolling
up.
his eyes.
So Mech, you walked off. What would you like to do, sir?
Go make 5 of the best omelets I've ever made.
All right.
I know eggs
So
are going to be hard to find. It's going to cost me a lot.
I'm gonna waive the costs on this one. So you are able to find eggs. They do have chickens. They have their farms at least.
Mm-hmm.
And you are able. Give me a performance check.
Got it. Boom.
You are able to make some slamming eggs, or slamming omelets. Excuse me. What other ingredients are you trying to put into these omelets?
Whatever kind of meat I could find, and whatever it is, I'd mix it all together. I mean, it'd be a hodgepodge of whatever I could find. It's got to be some veggies. It's got to be at least a meat. And the secret to a good omelet is 3 eggs, not 2. They gotta be
I'm-
hearty, hefty.
Right now, I'm imagining Mech with the shopping list: bread, eggs, breaded eggs.
I'm just thinking chopped bro.
So,
Big fridge knocking on everyone's door. I need butter and eggs. Thank you.
as you guys are having this discussion, and Ceres and Fennec are trying to just figure each other out at this point, Mech walks back with 5 plates of eggs.
Like a professional, like they're all on one arm. Just holding all the plates. Here, I slaved. I crawled across this whole farm. Try these and tell me they need more fucking pepper.
Fennec will take the first one.
You're a warforged. Why are you breathing heavy?
Dramatic. Dramatics.
So I guess we could say that Mech is a bit of a prima donna. He likes you to know how much he slaved.
he was trying to be dramatic.
I mean, he might not sleep, but he can feel exhaustion.
He can, but I don't need to breathe, technically. Neither.
So you each
just
eat
exist.
You each eat these eggs. What are your reactions?
Before I ate my egg, I sprinkled it with pepper.
I did no eggs for you. Give me that back.
I will keep my plate and my eggs. Thank you very much.
So, are you really going to try to take it? Because then I am going to have dexterity against.
No.
dexterity.
I'm just
Okay.
being. I feel like I go there and be like, none for you. She's just like, no. Just puts the pepper on and just eats it.
So after seeing Ceres pour pepper all over those eggs you slaved over, you attempt to take them, but you are unsuccessful. You're going to notice that Meili does something similar, but she doesn't put on as much pepper. And then she's going to start eating.
Whatever. Preference.
Levin, what do you think of the eggs? Are you eating the eggs?
He was politely offered food, and it's around lunchtime, so sure. In terms of would I be able to detect any off notes for any of the ingredients used in this? Because I think Mech did this in a hurry and didn't exactly source the ingredients well in a refugee camp.
It's like 1 pepper, 1 piece of garlic, maybe
Alright,
a cucumber.
I'm going to say, give me an investigation check, because I don't think this would fall under perception.
I love how the most rolls in the game have been
I'm not
about
so
my
much trying
omelets.
to discern. I'm not so much trying to discern if it was like spoiled. Like, is it too sour? Is it too sweet? Or is it like funky?
All right, go ahead and give me. Upon eating it, you would. It has a good starting taste, and then the aftertaste. It almost tastes tomatoey.
Ugh.
And Levin's going
Killing
to
me.
immediately stop eating and put the plate to the side.
Same. She'll attempt to put more pepper on it to make it better first.
What? I'm short notice. It's all I can find.
It's like you put the ketchup already on it. It's fresh.
You don't put ketchup on an omelet.
Yes, you.
No. The omelet stands on its own with its fillings.
So then why'd you put pepper on it?
Because pepper
Because
is
that's a
not
topping.
Oh,
It's a condiment.
fine.
Always practice a safe breakfast.
And now, Fennec, what do you think of the eggs?
He thinks they're eggs.
He just eats them without the taste.
Thanks for the lunch.
Yeah, no, he's eating them. What does how should I go about am I just going off what I myself think of them?
I'm gonna say this is a bit of improvisation. So you can either glow Mech, or you can cause him to grow.
He's just gonna stare down Ceres with every bite, so good.
Excellent! Slides her plate over to Fennec. You win today.
He just eats her plate. Too much pepper. He puts it aside.
If Mech could cry, it'd be a tear down his eye.
Watch it, they'll rust.
Ah. Thank you.
And
A little appreciation.
As this is all going on, at this point, you're going to see Ramos walk up to you. Ah, well, something certainly smells good over here.
And Levin is holding up his plate.
Eggs all over his face.
It looks wonderful. Who made it?
That would be me.
Impressive. I didn't know Warforges can cook. Learn something new every day.
Warforges could do a lot of things if they put their mind to it.
Oh, no, that I know. Don't be offended. When I served in the war, I fought alongside many Warforges. Some were very talented musicians and everything.
You served in the war?
Yes, of course. I fought for Breland.
Is that how you got that?
Pointing to his leg,
leg.
which he is very proud of. Yes, it was in one of my battles. Let's just say I got downed and my leg got severed.
See, it's an improvement. Now you're a quarter bulletproof.
Indeed. So, I must ask. Would you be interested in fulfilling that job? And he's going to look around at all of you.
We have a job?
If we like.
You were offered 600 gold pieces to go and investigate what's going on at a fort about a week away.
Accepted.
Ah, excellent! Excellent! And I will go tell Ogri now. And
We'll
with
leave
that,
him.
he's going to turn and walk away. If you'd like, come by my tent later on. I have cigars and I've got brandy. The king and I here will be in there later on.
I just might take you up on that.
I hope you do.
600 gold pieces each. How can we turn that down?
I don't think it was each.
I don't think it was each neither.
He said each. I mean, we all heard each.
Hmm.
Said 600.
Each.
That word was omitted.
It did. A lie of omission is the worst kind of lie.
Didn't you want to get back to the city?
I could do it better, faster, and easier with 600 gold pieces.
Well, it'll be a little less than that, but yes, okay.
Each. 600 gold pieces each.
Sure. I will not burst your
Says-
bubble.
Do you think these people have... And he does a quick head count. 3,000 gold pieces among them.
I mean, they have houses and multiple sets of clothes. And if I do notice, some of them own livestock and plots of land. Tilling land. I'm pretty sure these are all worthwhile things.
A third of these are sod houses without foundation. That one is made out of driftwood.
That's one of the artisanal homes. It's going for quite much, a bit more, I imagine.
That's just a shack.
No, a shack is usually made from crates and lined with newspapers and playbills to keep it insulated during the cold.
You're right. That's just made with branches. It's worse.
Another artisanal home.
Mm.
Look at how they have a jury-rigged a door. This is I see a luxury community in the making. And we should we not partake of some of that luxury?
Do you see this as a den of commerce? I thought not.
Fine. Shut up. I want money.
I appreciate that idea, but let's be realistic. They probably don't have 3,000.
You definitely don't have 3,000.
I mean, I could hold on to 600 gold pieces.
Physically, I have no doubt of that.
The way you say it like that makes me not want to give you all of the money to hold on to. Just saying.
Eminently trustworthy.
So, where are we to head off to start looking?
Well, the main thing is, what are we gonna do with Melee? And I know she's still there.
Yeah, she's still there.
Yeah.
She's standing right next to Ceres as if her shadow.
What are we gonna do about her? She's a target. She's kind of involved in everything, and she's kind of got a weird thing going on that we have no idea about. Are we gonna take her with us?
Well, I mean, she's my bodyguard. She has very clear instructions on what to do in the event of a fight.
Run.
Which is?
Well, I don't want to ruin the surprise.
Usually in a. Nah, go ahead.
I mean, she is very capable at what she is paid to do.
Protect you.
Yes.
Miley, how much is Ceres here paying you for your raid?
25 gold. I think you said 25 gold, right?
I gave her 25 now, and 25 when we started, and another 25 like
When we
tomorrow.
I think when you got back here.
So
Yeah.
So we're gonna just say about 25 gold per day, or
No.
something along those lines, or how? We're gonna say 25 per week.
Sure, yeah, I can
Let's-
swing that.
And Melee, you're okay with that?
Best pay anyone's getting around here.
Indeed.
Well, who am I to judge?
So with that, during this time, is there anything else you guys would like to discuss, or can we press forward towards if anybody wants to go and have cigars with Ramus and, as he said, the king? Or if we want to just time skip ahead.
Fennec will hang
You'll-
back with Ceres for a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
and he will actually tug on like her pant leg and ask for a minute.
Oh, Fennec, can I help you?
So he's moved out of the way of everybody else,
Mm-hmm.
and he's not gonna say it loud, but he's gonna say, "Why you gotta burst the big guy's bubble with these? You know he's passionate about cooking."
Actually, I didn't. I've never seen him cook.
Well,
And all of a sudden, he's a master omelet maker. Where's that coming from?
yes, and truth be told, sometimes they need more pepper. But you're never gonna let him know because he loves it.
You motherfucker.
You didn't hear that.
I know, it's just
So
I was like, oh, he's defending me. Oh, that's great.
He is.
Man. Write that
Yes.
down.
all I hear is
Fennec?
the meta bird saying,
my God.
"Motherfucker." Sorry, go ahead, Sarah.
She's gonna-
Sorry to interrupt.
She's gonna put she's gonna like sit down so she like can look at him eye to eye. Like they're off to the side. I imagine there's a place where she can like sit and like look at
I
him.
think it's the fact that you have to sit that hurts me, not crouch.
Well, she would crouch, but that's uncomfortable. She's
Yeah.
sitting because she doesn't want to be discomforted. And she's like, look, let's put it this way. I've sort of unofficially taken you under my wing as a sort of partner in crime. And you want to be good at that, don't you?
Yes.
So, does it help if I tell you you're doing great all the time?
Yes.
What if you're not doing great?
I know I'm not doing great.
Well, that helps. But if I want you to actually get better and be good, shouldn't I tell you when you're not making the grade, as it were?
And see, that's what sets you apart from everybody else. You're the only person that has told me.
Well, I'm doing the same thing to Meg. Sometimes the
Well,
omelet needed
sorry.
pepper.
I retract that statement. The people I'm with now have really built my confidence and trust me. And it means a lot. And I see what you're saying. And I understand why you're doing it. And I appreciate it. And I know he will in the end. But until then, I have to pepper joke.
Also, and I assume Meili's standing out of earshot.
Yes.
Unless
He wouldn't say
you,
anything yet.
unless you asked her to stay back, she would be following you.
I would have asked her to give me a little bit of space so I could talk to Fennec.
Then yes, she would have hung back.
Okay. I would like Meili to be able to trust me. And sometimes that means when you want people to trust you, sometimes you have to take their side.
You know, I was thinking the exact same thing, and I was going to ask when you were going to start trusting us a little more.
Ah, you're wonderful. I love this optimism that you used to never display. Pats him on the head. All right, next session will be in the future. Be ready.
Done.
And she'll get up and like wave Meili over. It's like, all right, we're going to have cigars. Looks back at Fennec. Where are we going?
I believe it was cigars.
Interesting. All right, I don't do cigars, so we're gonna watch people smoke cigars and do stupid shit. Enjoy, Meili.
That sounds wonderful, I think.
I wouldn't get your hopes up. It's never looked interesting in the past.
Okay, I'll take your word for it. Mech and Levin, would you be going to have cigars or would you be going somewhere else?
I'd be inquiring after Ramos to find out any more particulars about our task,
Alrighty.
but I would not be availing myself of a cigar.
Fair enough.
Same.
All right. So as you enter the tent, you notice that it is kind of smoky from the cigar smoke. They smell really good, similar to the ones that Fennec's not Fennec, Levin's actual actor brings with us camping. They're delicious, and they smell it. The bourbon, the brandy, it's very fruity. It smells good. If you partake, you will be able to be poured and handed a lit cigar. If not, you're going to kind of see them talking boisterously towards each other, and the conversation doesn't stop as you're entering. As you enter, what you're hearing is just the king basically telling a story about how he was in Breland and one of the other representatives, one from Thrain, ended up tripping and knocking over a plate of sauce all over somebody from on there. And you notice that they're both kind of laughing at the royal screw-up that had happened in that instance. Oh, here they are. These are the ones who said that they'd help us. Welcome. Come on in. Can I help you? Can I give you a cigar? Would you like a drink?
Both, please.
Ramos, I'm afraid we haven't been introduced.
Oh, you're right. And he's already pouring the drink for Mech and handing it to him, as well as preparing a cigar for him. Let me introduce you.
If he motions to give me any, I'll just turn a palm towards him.
Well, he wouldn't motion only because you didn't say you wanted one. Mech had said both.
Mm-hmm.
So if you had said something, he would have offered, but because you didn't, he did not.
Okay.
This is Prince. Sorry, I have to get used to that. This is King Orgev Irwinar. He's the last remaining monarch of Sire. And you're going to notice that he stands up. His robes, despite being shabby, once looked like they would be that of what a royal would wear. He's going to bow his head. Thank you. I do appreciate you accepting the assignment. Unfortunately, I can't send anybody else, and I have to rely on the hired aid of others. And I apologize that the bounty is not as great a yield as you may expect. As you can imagine, I may have backings within the houses, but my finances are limited, especially when trying to build up a country from ground up.
Well, that's fine. You're not. Mech will bow and greet him. That's fine. You're only paying for information anyway, so it's a decent rate.
And you would notice a thankful expression on his face as he sits back down. And he is going to motion for you to sit down in some of the empty seats. There are currently 3 empty seats.
Levin will take one of the seats.
Mech will join him.
Ceres and Fennec, your conversation would have finished. Would you come to the tent now?
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Who would be taking that last remaining seat?
I would let Fennec have it.
I was gonna say I would let her have it.
Somebody's going to have it, otherwise there's
Bailey
no
takes
seat.
it.
Bailey is just going to stand there silently until you hear her kind of at the amount of smoke that's billowing out. Oh, I'm sorry. Should we air out a little bit? I hadn't realized how hazy it was.
Yes, that probably wouldn't hurt.
You're gonna notice that King Orgev is going to kind of just, and the tent's doors are going to open up and get mounted by some of the guards that are standing around the perimeter of the tent.
Levin's gonna hold up a handkerchief to Miley as an offering.
Thank you. And she's going to take it, and she's going to just kind of cover her face like this.
All right.
So,
Remind me again where we're supposed to be headed for this investigation.
well, about a week's journey away, you have Fort Kinrun. There's a town nearby that surrounds it. It was the first city where those who survived the Mornland attack, the events of the Mornland,
Morning.
Thank you. Sorry, complete brain fart. When the events of the morning had happened, some of the survivors who were on the Outer Realms established a safe haven there. We've been using it as a base for monitoring the borders of what was Sire. I sent out a group of 7 because our guards here are very far and few and in between, and we haven't had a chance to train any of these refugees yet. That is coming next. We sent them, and we heard back from them about 9 days ago. They should have sent us a message when they got here, when they got there. So we can only assume that either something egregious is happening, or there's just too much going on that they haven't been able to respond back. You know, tending to the people and all of that. I am personally hoping for the latter, and then I would be able to ream them on the urgency of sending word to their king. If it's the former, well, I'd need to know as soon as possible.
How big is the town?
The town itself isn't too big. It's more impressive is the fort.
Hmm.
That is the stronghold.
And this town doesn't have an army, it's just the people of the town?
I'm sure you have heard of the severity of the mourning, but not many of the Sire people survived. In fact, I'm the only one in the capital that survived, purely because I was here in Breland. All of Sire was destroyed. There is no army. Yet.
Alright, well, it doesn't sound like the town is taken over.
Well, we don't know yet. As I said, I have not heard word.
Has there been any rumors or speculation of bandits on the road that might have intercepted, or any other troubles in town?
We have heard no word. From the south, from the southwest where you've come from, yes, we've heard of bandits and the like. But it's almost as if communications has ended in that direction.
What were you going there originally for? Just to check on the town?
Yes, it is still a province, and there are people who are maintaining the fort.
Gotcha.
But as I said, the number of soldiers we have watching over that fort, we had 5 who were doing their best to protect while training the small group of militia that were forming there. And then we had about 15 here. Some of them we had to send out to escort groups coming from Thrain, and then the other 7 that I had mentioned we had to send towards the fort, leaving us with very few here. In fact, those that are looking over me are some of the more trained guards that we have.
Do you have the names of these soldiers so when we get to town we can ask around?
Of course.
And the soldiers you sent were not your best of your best, you would say.
You can equate it as military graduates. They have training, but not experience.
Gotcha.
And with that, yes, he would be able to provide you with a list of names. Is there any other information that I could provide for you?
Okay, real quick.
Yes.
Levin is looking this Orgiv up and down. Does this individual recognize my heritage? Is what I'm looking for. Because I'm a Valinor elf. That's not going over well for some of them.
Well, right now, desperation. Whether or not he recognizes your race you are needed.
All right.
So if you would like to insight it, you certainly can. If not,
No, that's enough information.
okay.
But Levin is going to politely stand up. He's going to offer a bow. Pardon me, I need some air. And he's going to leave the tent because he just realized who he was talking to and with.
Alrighty. So for the rest of you, as you see Levin kind of walk out, is there anything you'd like to do?
Mech's gonna find that weird, and he's gonna do the same. He'll be like, "No, it's all we need. I think we would leave in the morning." So, thank you for the drink and the smoke.
It is greatly appreciated. Thank you very much.
I know we don't really. She's gonna look to. I can't remember his name now.
Ramos,
Ramos. I want to call him Rosamond for some reason.
call him Rosamond.
Ramos. She'll look at him and was like, I know that we don't really have. Or this town doesn't really have much in the way of like a shop or anything. But is there any way I could secure like a crossbow and some bolts?
Unfortunately, not here.
What? Where? How do you keep this place supplied? Because we were noticing some of the she like holds up air quotes homes were fairly ad hoc.
Well, our supplies come from some generous benefactors from Thrain and from Breland. In fact, Ramos is one who is consistently supplying us. We're sending out suppliers to help us when we need.
And amongst those supplies, you didn't include a few weapons for these people to defend themselves?
The weapons were taken from with the soldiers, and the ones that my guards have.
Fair enough. Look at Ramos, like you really need to get a shop built here, dude.
Well, unfortunately, there's no real merchants who would like to come here. I wonder if you can imagine why. And he's going to kind of like nudge at the king there.
Fair. Alright, well, this is, good to know. Good to know. Alright, well, thank you for hearing me out. I appreciate it. I'm going to join my companions now.
All right.
And she will depart with Melee.
Melee will follow out. Fennec, is there anything you'd like to add?
Nope, he's gonna follow. He's just gonna hop off the chair and kind of follow Melee, I guess.
Alrighty. So, you make your way, you are able to regroup. You would be setting up your camp. You guys have about 2 minutes of roleplay time before we press forward to the next day.
Levin, are you okay?
Oh, well, I'm perfectly fine. It's just...
Do
He's-
I believe him when he says he's okay?
From-
Like,
No. I can freely give this information. Physically okay, but there is concern showing on his face.
duly noted.
Right. Are you aware of the politics of what's happening in Star?
I try not to be.
This individual is not part of the bloodlines.
I didn't hear. Sorry. Came in fuzzy.
This individual is not part of the royal bloodlines.
But he's supposed to be the last.
I mean, when you scrape a barrel, you don't get the best.
Well, you have Easter Sirens that come out of Metrol, the old capital. And that was around before Gallifari existed. But some of the old-fashioned ones are typically against... It's mostly politics, and there's contention between what is sire and what is truly sire.
So is he not actually the prince? Or is he
That-
somebody just filling the vacuum?
That is information that I don't particularly have. Just that I know what I've... So, if we decide to affiliate ourselves with him, and we have to come up against any other of the noble houses of Sire, we might have problems dealing with that.
Well, that sucks. We already told him yes. Okay, all we gotta do is get information. We'll find what we need to find, and we do no more, and then we wash our hands of this.
And the reason I left the tent earlier was I was hopeful that he would not have recognized my heritage and been upset.
Is there a problem between you guys?
Well, if you consider the lands taken from Sire during the war, you have Valinor to the east, you have Darkwind to the south.
Political bullshit. Okay.
Alrighty. With that, is there anything else you guys would like to discuss before the next morning?
No, Levin's pretty okay. I mean, he'd be asking around in general to see if he can restock on stuff, but given that most of the supplies are maintained for the soldiers, he's probably not going to find anything.
Alrighty. And for the rest of you...
All I need.
Once, going twice. Alright, with that, you guys are able to take a long rest. Anything you might have to do after a long rest, please take the time to do so. So I know for at least one of you that does include doing some nice baking in the morning.
It does.
Omelets.
I
Something
said
better.
baking, not cooking. Goodness,
An
I learned
omelet's
those
madness.
cooking terms.
The hubris. Someone's flying too close to the sun.
Mac doesn't know if he wants to make fucking omelets for you uncultured swine anymore.
As far as you know, Fennec loves them.
That's, well, for you, fine.
See, Fennec knows how to make sure that he keeps getting meals. I see that.
He never said he didn't like them. He just agreed slightly with Ferris or Ceres.
And that's why you're the first. In the morning, you're gonna be woken up to, you smell nothing but sugary goodness.
Oh yes.
Here, eat this. You'll love it.
Don't even need to know what it is. Gimme.
Nope, just eat it.
He will just he'll take a bite. Actually, he will do this goblin style. He will just shove the whole thing in his.
Perfect. It was meant to be bite size. I mean, for you, it's a little bit bigger. I should have taken that consideration, but bite size for normals.
What was it?
You actually will get 2 temporary hit points.
Nice.
But what did you make?
Probably for the rolls.
I can make, yeah. It's like treats. So in this case, I'd say I'd probably make like
Were those originals?
I guess I could probably find bread, so I'd make like some kind of doughy zeppoli or something like that. Just basically fried dough with sugar and everything on it. And I'd actually have enough for everyone. Actually, I'm sorry. I apologize. That's a wrong thing I'm looking at. I would only have 2, so I would actually approach Ceres with the other one.
Fennec will just watch the whole interaction, slowly chewing.
Like, here, you didn't like my omelet, but here, try this. Maybe sweets or your liking.
She takes it hesitantly. I mean, parts of the omelet were good. It's just I'm not a fan of tomato.
I'll leave it out next time.
I mean, the
I'm
eggy
always welcome
part
to
was-
criticism.
Glad to hear that. Glad to hear that. The way you stomped off seemed to imply otherwise, but clearly I read the scene wrong.
No. I was just... Maybe I overreacted. I apologize.
He was a bit salty.
Unlike
Yeah.
the omelets.
So not enough pepper or not enough salt. I can't win with you.
She grins and just like gives him a little bow, and then pops the treat in her mouth. It's like, this is good.
And with that additional 2 temporary hit points, you guys are able to sufficiently get yourselves ready for the day and start departing. Is there anything you would like to do before you leave, though? So Mei Li, she is going to make sure that her bag is packed. You notice that she doesn't have to do much to her bag, which does show that she was capable of traveling for the 2 weeks, or for the week fully, at least the week, fully stocked. You are leaving first thing in the morning, and you begin to make your journey. As said, this journey is going to take about 7 days to get to the fort. So, skipping forward, the day itself is relatively uneventful while you're traveling. You are able to get through a sufficient amount of distance. And you are able to start setting up for camp. So, while you're setting up camp, what would you like to do?
So Melee, is there anything more that you could be helpful with about your whole mark and what you have to do about all of this?
Well, not really. I had no parents, so they couldn't tell me anything. It's been there for as long as I know. And she's gonna start just setting up her tent and start setting up for a bonfire.
Oh, well, that was helpful. I guess I'll go get dinner ready.
Anybody else?
Levin's going to do a far perimeter check.
Alrighty. From what you can see, there is no real threat in front of you. The area is kind of desolate. There's no grass. And as far as you can see, nothing is heading your way. There seems to be no sign of danger.
He would have gone out far enough that, like, he would have been noticeable at the horizon. So about maybe quarter mile, a little further out.
Yep. Yep. So far, you're good.
Yeah, doing a perimeter sweep like this would take me a couple hours.
Fennec, what would you like to do?
He's just relaxing right now. He's not really overly looking to do much. He kind of assumes that if trouble's going to find them, it'll find them, or someone else will bring it to him. But he's just kind of, I guess he's kind of tailing Mech and doing whatever he can to stay out of the way of everybody else and just be in the way there.
Alrighty. So,
So
with
he.
that,
Oh, yeah.
yep, go ahead.
No, it was not something that was gonna need to be done. I was gonna say he was
Okay.
gonna try and have Mech try to teach him to cook, but he's not.
He ain't interested.
He's like eating.
Alrighty. So, Cyrus, what would you be doing?
Uh, mostly just waking up to the horror of nature.
The horror
The-
of nature, huh?
The open sky, the just lack of buildings, the lack of amenities. Like, the roads are gone. Sure, they probably have like paths through the houses, but they're not cobbled. They don't have walls or gutters. The houses probably don't have little like rain gutters, and it's just awful. Everything about this is awful.
Is it that or lack of pockets?
That doesn't help either.
That's just the cherry on top of the shit sundae.
Alrighty. So, it is now, the sun is now setting. It is now nighttime. How are you setting up camp? Is there anything particular you're doing?
Fenning's gonna find a nice, like, kind of like, what's the surrounding area? Is it like foresty, deserty path, like open?
Pretty much looking at the map is what you would see, except it's more flat. Those ridges aren't really there.
Okay.
It's just, maps are limited.
All right. Fennec will, I guess, like find a spot to kind of just lay down the bedroll and like use his bag as kind of like a pillow and just. Is it like cloudy or whatnot? Like, what's the?
It's a clear night. The stars are out, shining bright.
He's just gonna kind of be like looking up, staring, not really saying much, but to the, to the naked eye, it would just seem like he's just stargazing.
Alrighty. And for the rest of you. So we have Fennec stargazing. Mei Li is going to kind of just be sitting by the fire, sitting quietly. She is just going to be having her head on a rotation like she's alert.
Excellent. Earning that money.
Yes. It's like she is very dedicated to doing a good job.
I like the work ethic. I also like how quickly she took money to perpetuate a lie.
A woman after your own heart.
It's true.
And technically
So,
not the first.
Nope, that's the same way she acquired her dress.
That was a little more awkward, but yes.
So, what would you be doing though, Cyrus?
I mean, mostly just, eating a breakfast and packing up and getting ready to go. I mean, well, I guess not even that, because she's been ready to go since, like, middle of the night, because she doesn't sleep. So yeah. She would have come out of her trance and just slowly started packing, so she's probably just, like, looking around, just, like I said, taking in the horror of nature.
Gotcha.
It's like nothing. She's like, it is a foreign environment. She might as well be on one of the moons.
Good to know. Levin, what are you doing? And then we're going to go into the watches. We're only going to have 3 watches. So, Cyrus, would you like to be on the second or a third watch?
Sure, third's fine.
Alrighty. Levin, what are you
Technically,
doing?
Okay.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Cyrus.
Technically, I can cover 2 watches because I only need
You
4
could
hours to
certainly
sleep.
you could certainly stay up for both watches. I just wanted to specify which one would be specifically that you were attending to.
So 3rd
Um,
watch, yes.
There we go. Levin, how about you?
He would have been spending some downtime. He would have put on his Zaelta and entered into a trance to try to get some sensing about, like, his ancestral spirit. Like, get an opinion on what's going on here. Not so much anything solid, but, just some type of spiritual guidance towards this.
Okay. Is that just more thematic, or is that more of a racial feat? Racial trait?
It's thematic. It's
Okay.
part of the spirits of the past that he keeps as his faith.
Gotcha. I wasn't sure if it was some sort of like oracle type trait.
No. It's nothing as concrete as that.
Okay. Gotcha. So you would be seeking help from your ancestors and to know how to move forward. Which watch would you like to take?
I'll take second watch.
Alrighty. Mech and Fennec. So Mech, you cooked dinner for everybody, then you had to clean up. Well, Mei Li did help you clean. She's earning her keep, unlike some lazy goblins. I mean, who said that? What would you like to do, Mech?
I would take the first watch so everybody starts off, but I'd pretty much stay up through the night because I don't really sleep neither.
Damn, you got a party of insomniacs. So Fennec, still lazing about?
He's listening about. He is definitely just like kind of lounging. Like he after dinner, he really hasn't looked anywhere else but the sky. Is the moon out?
Yes. Let's see. 1 second.
Which one?
That's exactly what I was looking up.
Is
I
a
think
moon out?
Yes, I think there would be like 2 moons out. I think there's 3 moons in Eberron.
No,
Oh,
that's way too low.
I think they're 12?
There's a reason there was a lycanthropy plague.
So, yes, many
7
moons.
moons.
Many moons are out.
All right. So what he's pondering isn't gonna make sense. You get the sense that like he's deep in thought, but it's pretty clear that he's thinking of something or like trying to solve something in his head. He's just so focused looking up at the stars.
Alrighty, and which watch would you take?
He'd be on first because he's going right to bed afterwards.
Mac is
Gotcha.
on first.
You can take it with me.
No, you could do the same because we have enough insomniacs to handle the second watch. I mean, listen, almost nobody in this party besides Fennec has to actually sleep. The rest of
We
you
all
all can
just-
meditate.
I'm going to spend my non-sleeping hours staring at Fennec.
She's watching
Why?
you sleep.
It shouldn't be
You're gonna
creepy because I do it most nights anyway.
By the end of the
What?
campaign, we just all sit around Fennec while he sleeps and watch him.
And the best part is he never knows. So, with that, first watch, go ahead and give me a perception check.
Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. I have that somewhere.
Over the
Not good.
rainbow. 3 seconds.
Not
good.
I was gonna say if it's not too late, I did come up with something for what Fennec was thinking, and he was gonna ask it before he went to bed.
Sure, but
Like,
give me a perception
do
first.
I have time?
Give me a
what?
perception first. Perception. It's your watch.
Oh yeah, no, that's fine. Performance. I want perception. Uh, 18.
Even deep in thought, you are still vigilant. There is nothing approaching you. You are very confident in this. So, at this point, you would have a moment to ask any question you might have.
All right. And it's who? I would guess who's around us.
Me.
Well, I believe that Mech was the one who took the first
Okay.
watch with you, so yes.
All right. Well, everybody's saying they were watching him, so.
No, you're still awake.
Okay. Can you kind of like sit up, like gingerly, and kind of like when you sit up and like kind of hold your knees. That's basically what he's doing. I've been thinking. I get a question. Can I ask you something?
Always.
You ever just like think about the night?
Like the night?
Like the night. And he'll kind of like gesture around like, the dark. Shadows.
Not particularly. I think about in the night as preparing for it, but not like it's a thing.
But what if it was? What if the shadows hold not only secrets in the unknown, but memories? Memories imprinted on the very fabric of what we call night.
But night is night and shadows are shadows. They're two different things.
Are they?
Well,
It's all darkness.
yes, but you can't see a shadow without light.
But we always hear the stories of the light.
There's stories about everything. What are you trying to get at?
I'm just trying to figure out what stories this kind of darkness is sharing with us.
What darkness?
The night. The lack of light.
It's just something that happens.
You're right. I'm rambling. I'm tired, and I don't know the
You can't have
clothes-
you can't have one without the other, child. You can't have good without bad. You can't have light without dark.
Oh no,
The
that
Dark is just the absence of light. It's all it is.
Guess you're right. Yeah, I guess I was just overthinking.
And with that existential thought out of the way, your watch is over, and it's time for the next one.
Mhm.
So, those of you who are on the next watch, go ahead and give me your perception checks.
Do I still count?
Yes, you still count.
There. Okay. Yay.
You are still on watch.
Better.
So 25 for mine.
Ooh. Well,
Jesus.
with the 18 to 25. Oh no, not. Sorry.
I have
11
11.
and 25.
Yeah.
11.
Yep. So I was looking at Phoenix for a second.
11, 11.
Levin, you would notice that there is a figure walking slowly towards your direction. Or the direction of your camp, I should say, rather.
Levin's gonna clock that, and he's gonna bring it to Mech's attention and point out the direction, but not make a noise.
Mike's gonna nod and just pay attention, because technically he's inactive.
And you notice that the figure continues to move forward.
Should we be worried? Does it look like Ramos?
Would I be able to estimate a distance from where that figure is to where our camp is?
Give me a perception check. With your perception check, you'd be able to gauge that it's probably about 200-300 feet away.
He's far.
I'm gonna. Levin's gonna take a moment and strike his bullseye lantern to light, and he's gonna point it in the direction of whatever's approaching. And if that thing doesn't immediately start running towards us, he's gonna start waking people up.
Okay. Now, bullseye lantern. Correct me if I'm wrong. It shines on a single point, and they can see that point. Correct.
They'll be able to see the light source, but it's pointing
Okay.
towards them, so we're still technically in shadow.
You're going to notice that the direction of the figure changes, so that instead of heading kind of just because it was heading in your direction, it's just now moving directly towards you, but its pace or speed did not increase.
Alright. I'm gonna start waking people up.
Alrighty.
I'll be able to get a clear look at this thing once it's within 120 feet.
Which wouldn't take it too long because it does have a nice movement speed. So let's see, double check that. Yeah, so after about a couple of minutes, you notice that it would be within your 150 feet range.
120.
120, excuse me. What would you like to do? So the rest of you, Fennec would be the only one at this point who I believe would be sleeping. Ceres and maybe...
But I would be nudging people to get their
Yes.
attention at the very least.
Yep, so you are all aware, and you all see this figure coming closer. And what you see is... Why can't I... Why isn't it letting... Sorry, 1 second. Technical difficulties. There you go. You would see this heading in your direction.
That's not creepy at all.
See? I held a story.
Seeing that, what would you like to do?
He doesn't look too humanoid. Well, ish.
Levin's going to call out, "Stop your approach."
It's not going to stop. It does continue to move. But its posture hasn't changed. It doesn't look like it's immediately going to attack, but it doesn't stop either.
He's going to repeat that command in Draconic, Undercommon, and Elvish.
Okay. It continues. At this point, it's about 75 feet away.
Mech's gonna move up with Levin. I don't know what his intentions are, but I'm ready for anything.
Levin's putting the lantern down and readying his hand crossbow. And he's going to look at the rest of the group to see what they're doing.
Snoozing.
At this point, Levin would have tried waking you up.
Oh, he's ugly.
So, with that, as you guys are waiting to see what move this creature is going to do, you notice that it just continues. As it gets closer, you hear something. You hear it muttering in... Does anybody speak Infernal?
I think maybe the one person that isn't here.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
Let me
God
double
damn.
check that. Because
Yeah,
Either
why
that or
not?
Abyssal.
it's
One of those two.
neither, actually. Celestial.
Yeah,
Oh,
son of a bitch. Alright.
So, but you do hear it mumbling in this guttural demonic-like language. It's almost as if it's not paying you any mind.
Levin, I don't like this. Everything screams problem.
It's not assaulting us, though.
Yet. He's still kind of far.
Closing in.
Move to one side, let it pass. If it changes course, we attack.
There. Hug the wolf.
It's going to continue muttering, and you're going to, as it continues forward, it is now in your camp, but still not moving to attack. Still just muttering.
Has this individual turned their heads to observe any of us specifically?
Just to look. So basically, the same way that you're gauging her actions, she's gauging yours. But it's almost like it's hurried enough that she isn't considering you a threat.
Mech can't resist. He just... Everything doesn't seem right. Is there something we can help you with?
And in this infernal language, she's going to turn, and you hear this demonic speech coming out. And surprisingly, you hear Mei Li kind of gasp.
Well, I think we found out who speaks Infernal.
Melee, do you understand her?
If you don't mind, yes. She's saying, smell of death, I think? She's trying to get away from the stench of death?
Okay, good. Tell her it's that way.
Which way would you be pointing to?
It's away from the camp.
Away.
She came from north, point south.
The way that she's going, basically?
Pretty much, yeah.
So have her, which is basically what she's doing. After it was translated, she didn't even stop. This creature just kept on moving.
Does Fennec recognize the creature? Like what type it is?
Give me a history check. Or an arcana check.
Arcana it is.
Yeah, Levin's trying to recall information on
Oh,
this bit of hinkiness.
3.
I'd say the same.
8.
I'm trying to talk to her. Would you say a history or an arcana?
Yes, sir. So
Yeah,
far,
I'm trained in
neither of you know
Arcana,
it.
so I figured that was okay.
Oh, God.
The best out of them. Coming from a library, you've seen the picture of this, but it takes you a few minutes to recall. This is, in particular, a type of hag.
Oh,
You can't
okay.
make out which type, but you
Uh-huh.
notice you recall it reading about these things.
that's good enough.
He heard one word.
That's good enough. And that's usually a trifecta. I think we should just let her go. Just let her go. Melee, stop talking to her.
Okay, but you told me to. Also,
I-
I don't speak Infernal. I can only understand it. Sorry.
Fine, that's helpful. If she says anything threatening, let me know, but don't engage her. Just let her go.
Understood. With that is... Yep, go ahead.
I was just gonna be like, she's in a group, like, she's a lot more powerful than she looks. Let her go.
In that time that the hag is walking, Fennec has slowly made his way to pretty much next to Levin, like backing slowly to him.
Okay. And with that, the encounter is over. The rest of the night does go uneventfully. So at this point, you would have about a minute or two to wrap up anything you might want to wrap up overnight. So the last watch would be going uneventfully.
I would say to Melee, like, is that all she said? Or she's just trying to escape the smell of death, you said?
Yeah, she just kept saying, it's coming, the stench of death. And she kept saying it in variations. I don't know what it... What's a stench of death?
Wait, she
Yeah.
said the stench of death is coming?
One of her ramblings.
Well, anything to make a powerful magical creature nervous makes me nervous.
Question. She was approaching from the direction that we were heading towards, correct?
Yes. Yes, she was.
Great. Great.
Fantastic.
And on that note, we're going to end here for the night.
Who wants to guess if this is connected to our soldiers?
Now
I have no idea.
it's gonna be like, wait, why did we let her go? Hold on.
What kind of creature? Hag. No further questions.
That's yeah, carry on. Nothing more to see here.
It's because Matt's had some fun times with hags.
Yes. Yes, I have.
Fun, though, very exaggerated.
Alrighty, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in tonight. And if you are not in tonight, thank you for watching the videos. Hopefully, we'll have more of a fan base with each episode that goes on. As I said earlier, check us out on playersoftherealms.com. We have our site through Selfie, and we have our merch. We have our mech cups. We've got our Dapper Fennec cups. Hell, I think we even got a Yami cup.
Yeah.
But it's not Dapper yet.
Listen, everybody only wants the mech and the dapper stuff. That's it.
So check out all of the stuff that we have on our website. We have a Patreon. If you subscribe to our Patreon, you get a discount. Also, please check out Dice Legion for any of the dice supplies that you might need. They have rolling trays, they've got bags, they've got dice, and be sure to use product code POTR to make sure that you're helping us out so that we can continue to provide awesome material for you in the future. This is us signing out for the week, and enjoy!
Night.
Not all.